Last week, I took a look at an Evil Dead ripoff, and tonight I'm taking a look at another ripoff. This time, Offerings is ripping off Halloween, and it's pretty blatant. It's almost like a fan recreated Halloween beat for beat and came up with this 80s slasher. And if that were the case, I think I would prefer Offerings as a more faithful remake to Halloween than the film Rob Zombie gave us. Welcome to the HellBound Horror Show. Now, before we begin, I want to be completely honest. I want you to know that I wasn't kidding. Offerings really does rip off Halloween. Just listen to this. Sound familiar? Yeah, they're not even being sneaky about it. There's also some Nightmare on Elm Street connections here as well. A young teen Freddy Krueger from Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare is in this film.
You want to know the secret of pain? If you just stop feeling it, you can start using it.
Plus, take a listen to this musical cue.
He had knives for fingers.
Oddly similar, eh? So, you ready for the plot? Well, have you seen this movie called Halloween? Yeah, it's basically Halloween. Young little Michael Myers here is a mute boy with a crazy mother. Yeah, his name isn't actually Michael Myers, but instead it's John Radley. But we all know who he's based on. His father was an abuser, and his father cut his mother's throat. It's also implied that his mother may have killed his father. Ugh, family issues. Mikey boy has a friend and she really helps him out. Unfortunately, most kids are bullies and they peer pressure our young shape to walk along this well. One of the little jerks scares our serial killer-to-be and he falls down the well. Say hi to Samara down there. 10 years later, and John Radley, our little Michael Myers, is all grown up and in a mental institution. Apparently he got out of the well and at some point killed and then ate his mother. You know, as most young boys do. Well, oh no. John escapes the mental institution and he travels all the way back to his old hometown. Yes, it's the night he came home. No, not him. Him! John Radley. He goes and stays at his abandoned childhood home. His psychiatrist and a cop team up and try to stop him. John even goes to his mother's grave and digs up the body and destroys the tombstone. He begins to kill the teens in town and leaves little presents or offerings to the girl that was nice to him as a child. Her name is Gretchen, and she is our lead and final girl, but she's no Laurie Strode or even Nancy Thompson. She's hollow, not a great actress, and doesn't have much going for her. Her friend Casey is the only character with a personality. Too bad it's not a very good one.
Yeah, I was just doing something in the kitchen. What was that? Toxic. Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Actually, this random mortician has a ton of personality, but the scene is so short. This guy is great and a blast to watch.
I'm interning. For what? Mortician. I hate worms. They can destroy a real good job.
He is one weird dude. At one point, the killer leaves Gretchen a human ear at her doorstep. What is this? Ripping off Blue Velvet now? He even cooks human flesh and puts it on her pizza without her knowing about it. Offerings is a typical slasher that borrows heavily from Halloween. The film almost feels proud for ripping off Halloween. In a slasher though, deaths tend to be the highlight, and yes, we get a decent body count, but there isn't a lot of blood or effective moments. The deaths are fine and some of the more engaging aspects of this film, but they pale in comparison to other slashers of this era. The kills just didn't do it for me in this movie. Music, even though it's a ripoff, is extremely good. Listen, I love John Carpenter's theme, even if it's in another movie. I don't care, I just love it, and it puts you in the right state of mind. Sound design and sound mixing is rather lacking. There is one scene with a lot of ducks, and it's really hard to hear what the characters are talking about.
called you up because there's something out here I thought you ought to see.
Listen, folks, just dub it over. Story and script leave a lot to be desired. We know you're copying Halloween, but do something more fun with it. Go crazy. Actually, now that I say that out loud, Offerings was released in 1989, right as Halloween 5 was hitting theaters. The OG Michael Myers was adding more to the story and plot, going crazy with it, while Offerings took the genre back to the basics. It's just a bit too basic by 1989 standards, though. Also, the characters are wooden and static, and it doesn't help the film. That could be the actors' faults, though. There were a few characters that stood out, like the sheriff, our final girl's rude friend, and the weird mortician. All of them are serviceable for this type of film, but unfortunately, everyone else just falls flat.
I'll let you go this once. Now you get in there and gather up that filth and put it in the trunk of my car. You heard me, let's get going. I don't have all day.
Now, if you want to watch the film, there are a few options. I did see a few versions floating around YouTube, and if you want the Blu-ray, you can get it from Kino Lorber. But do be aware, outside of the beautiful transfer, the discs have nothing to offer in the way of special features. All in all, is Offerings worth your time? Well, if you're a big fan of the OG Halloween, and you can't get enough of that good stuff, then I'd say yeah, give it a watch. See how a similar story falls a bit flat when it's not in the hands of a horror legend like John Carpenter. Also, if you like cheesy slasher films from the 80s, it doesn't get any cheesier than Offerings. Yeah, it's a bit slow and the highs never really get there, but it's a fun love letter to the genre. Definitely check it out, but don't pay too much. And that's all I have for tonight, so as always, thank you so much for watching, stay healthy, stay safe, and take care everyone.